running.
Welcome back, everyone. This is part 4 of the King's Castle. King James, along with Blair Chopin, and our special guest, Pete Kohlberg. And I'll tell you something. Well, of course, Blair with his vintage Kohlberg chant there. Anyway, I just want to mention, for the benefit of reviewers, if you have anything you want to hear us talk about, or if you agree or disagree with anything that we say on the show as it relates to any of our segments, please feel free to let us know in the comments, because we want to run the show together, so let us know, folks. But with that being said, it's time for one of my favorite segments on the show, where we get to tell you what's hot for the week. And
What do you think's hot?
I've got some big news from two sides.
You're pregnant? Oh my God, James! Congratulations!
No, Blair. Remember, this is not a personal segment. This is an entertainment show. Okay. Anyway, first of all, for all you '90s Nickelodeon fans, of which I'm a huge one, most of you may know that Team Nick does something called the Splat, where they bring back the '90s Nickelodeon shows for 2 hours every day of the week.
That's awesome.
Well, this week is Double Dare week, because the legendary host of Double Dare, Mark Summers, is back, and they are showcasing some of the messiest moments of Double Dare history all week long. And this Friday at 10 p.m. on the Splat, Mark Summers will be here in real time hosting Double Dare for the first time in 23 years, and he's going to play with some of the original members of the cast of all that. So that should be huge in its own right.
That'll be good.
James, have you seen the uncut version of these shows? Actually, they showed a show they had never shown before on Nick. It was Slime Time Live, but it was like an episode they didn't air. And they actually covered this guy. They actually covered this young 19-year-old kid in so much slime that he went into a coma.
What?
He overdosed on slime.
Oh,
I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, he overdosed, on slime, and he awoke from his coma this week. And that's why Nick is doing this special thing in honor of his life. His name is Lots of Slime.
That's terrible.
So that's a true story I made up.
Anyway,
a true story you made up.
That's a true story.
Anyway, Blair, I think you just angered a lot of '90s Nick fans by saying that.
What a people to offend.
But anyway,
I think
on another note here, for all you America's Got Talent fans out there,
all two of them.
America's Got Talent goes live for the first time this season tonight on NBC. So it's your first chance to vote for your favorite and help somebody get one step closer to the $1 million prize.
I know who I would help. Is that 70-year-old guy that sings that hard rock.
Oh yeah, he's
Ozzy Osbourne?
No.
Some dude singing a drowning pool.
Actually,
did you hear the guy who sang Creep last night?
Creep? Where?
On AGT.
Well, AGT's not on Monday nights.
What are you talking about then?
I'm talking about America's Got Talent.
That's what I'm talking. I said the other night.
Oh, I did hear that guy. But just for your information, Peter, that one guy you are talking about is actually 82.
82. I couldn't remember.
And he did Bodies for his first audition. You're right.
Let the bodies hit the floor.
And then
let the bodies
on
hit
Friday, what was it? This past Friday or the Friday before?
Yeah.
He actually sang. Drowning Pool actually sang with him.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where did you see that?
Well, I saw it
in his dreams.
I saw it on Facebook, and then I went to Yahoo to see if it was really true, and it was. He was going to join them on stage at one of their concerts.
Wow. So, folks, make sure you check that out on Yahoo. But, Pete, do you have anything else that you know for what's hot for the week?
I don't.
You know,
I can't think of anything.
Were you talking about the second season of a show on National Geographic earlier?
Oh, yeah. There's a show on National Geographic called Outer Banks Tuna. I actually lived out.
My favorite kind of tuna.
I lived out at the Outer Banks, and there is a guy on that show that I graduated high school with. It's about where they go out and catch this tuna. It's like a
Sort of a spin-off of Deadliest Catch.
or a Swamp People kind of show. And it's really interesting how they find the tuna and how they catch it.
Tuna talk.
How they catch it. I didn't realize all the goings into how they catch it. So that's pretty interesting and it's Monday nights.
Monday nights on
and
National
they re-show
Geographic,
them.
right?
Right, and if you miss it Monday night, they re-show them during the week.
Wow.
So like, they could do a Wednesday or they could do like next Monday.
So be sure to check that out. Blair, do you have any what's hot news for us this week?
Well, I mean, I think what was hot last week and what we need to discuss is the Republican convention.
Yes.
Pete, who was your favorite
Oh my
speaker?
God! Oh my God! I'm so sorry, folks.
We're gonna dive into politics.
My favorite speaker from last week would have to have been...
It's a very entertaining convention. Did you like Scott Baio?
I did. I was surprised he was there.
Well, I will mention one thing as far as
The Duck Dynasty guy.
That was pretty cool.
I will mention one thing as far as the RNC is concerned. Did either of you guys see Donald Trump's entrance on Monday? I believe it was.
We saw his Thursday where he grabbed his daughter's behind too.
Well, I saw it, they compared it to something.
I wasn't talking about that. I mean the entrance that he made on Monday.
They compared his Monday night entrance to something.
Yeah, Chuck Todd compared it to something he had seen on WWE, and Vince McMahon, who is actually a good friend of Donald Trump in real life, called him and said that was a good entrance. So big ups to Donald Trump on that one, and thank you, Vince McMahon, for showing your support either way.
We've got to start. I think as a show, we've got to start talking about our problems, and then as Willie Robertson did, just say, Donald Trump has got your back.
I have something to say about last week, though.
Oh, yeah.
There was one person that they had scheduled before the convention, they said was going to speak, that ended up being dropped at the last minute.
And
was it Touchdown Jesus?
Would you care to mention
Tim
who
Tebow?
that was?
Tim Tebow.
Yeah, Touchdown Jesus.
Yes.
Wait.
He was scheduled to
He's
speak
in the
last week.
He's in the middle of doing Home Free, though, so I don't know if...
Right, but that show's already been done.
Right.
That show's already been...
filmed.
Filmed, thank you. So what was the point in him not being there?
I think they are so sloppy, I mean, the Trump campaign, that they may have just signed him up to speak without asking him. And then they said he was going to speak, and he's like, I had never heard anything about that, because it sounded like it totally caught him off guard. But even if he didn't speak at his convention, I know this one thing to be true for Tim Tebow. Donald Trump has got his back.
They said ESPN would have fired him had he spoke at the RNC.
Ooh, that brings up an interesting question. Do you agree with that?
I don't agree that anyone should be fired if they speak in public for anything. Now,
what if they speak in public for murdering one in every 3 babies?
Now, I was going to say that if you say something out of line while you're speaking in public,
I think that's
and a lot of people hear you, maybe that's grounds for
I don't see why they would fire him for that, though.
Then why is Donald Trump the nominee if you're going to just speak off the cuff in public?
I know, but Donald Trump is his own boss, so that's he can't fire. He wouldn't fire himself.
He's a billionaire, so
for Tebow's sake,
so he wouldn't let the party fire him.
And NBC did fire Donald Trump. They said no more.
Did they actually say you're fired?
I don't know if that would have been funny.
They said you're fired.
Yes, and did the hand. You're fired.
And
with those small hands of his,
they were supposed to
very small.
They were supposed to debut The Apprentice with Arnold Schwarzenegger, but that never happened.
No,
NBC
that'd been fun. The Governator on there,
and then at the end of the season, he'd say, "I'll be back."
Yeah, I'll be back.
I'll be back.
But again, I don't think he should be fired. Unless he went up there and said something, Tim Tebow, anyone to do this, horribly offensive, like James said, then I think you have a basis for firing him. But I don't think, and I'm someone who typically leans a little bit to the left, but I think if someone at ESPN was speaking at the Democratic convention, I don't think they would care.
That's because they're really
leaning. They're a liberal, and I don't think that's right.
I don't know.
He should be able to pursue his own interests, and as long as it's not, that doesn't put a bad reflection on their company.
That goes to the freedom of speech thing.
Exactly.
Right.
I think. You know what? I don't want to delve too much into personal opinions as it relates to politics, but I will say this. Either way, I can guarantee that this election year will be very, very interesting for the future
Historic.
of this country. Very historic, because either way,
it's the biggest election for president.
We have the first ever female president, or
the first ever orange president.
We have a guy who
we've never had an orangutan before.
Went from billionaire to becoming president overnight. So anything can happen.
An outsider and a grandma.
Anything can happen.
And also, are these two secretly actually friends?
Yes, they are. Their daughters are.
Their daughters are really tight. Is Donald Trump a Russian spy?
Anyway,
that's really serious.
I'm gonna put a stop to this before we get in any more trouble. But I gotta thank Mr. Pete Colbert for being here with us tonight.
Let's give these. Hold on, James. I think we're gonna do a bonus segment tonight because we got time.
All right.
You want to do a fifth segment?
What the heck? We're gonna come back with a little more right after this.
We'll talk about whatever. Animal. What did you say earlier?
Analysm?
Analysms. More analysms, folks. We're gonna say that.